All right, welcome back to this week's Lesson Tech Help for Canvas Teachers. Today we're going to talk a little bit about taking attendance and the gradebook in Canvas. The students have an opportunity to do one of three different types of lessons, and those lessons are discussion board lessons, assignment lessons, and quiz lessons. Just to show you those real quick, if we go to modules, you can just look at the modules and know exactly what type of lesson each one is. Let's go to this week coming up. We can see right here we have little discussion. That means that's a discussion page. This is an assignment page, this little icon here. Again, this is a discussion lesson. This is a assignment lesson. And this one right here, the rocket, is a quiz lesson and another discussion board lesson. So you can always see what kind of responses your students are going to give to you by what type of lesson it is. A discussion board, you get to those responses just right inside of the lesson. That's where you see your students' responses, and that's where you go to take attendance and comment and talk back to your students. But when we have assignments and quizzes, those get submitted by the students, and only you as a teacher get to see them, and where you get to see them is in grades. So if you click over on grades, this is one way to get there. I want to just show you this way because this is a nice way to see an overview of how your students are doing. Now, you'll see each of your students' names here on the left, and then as you go to the right, you'll see the different lessons that could have happened. If they're unpublished, they'll be blacked out like this, and there's nothing you need to worry about. If they're published and your students are supposed to do them, then it'll look more like this. These have already been graded, so the green check marks means they completed it, and the X means that it was marked not complete. And you can also say a student comes in late to your class, you can excuse anything that they miss. Now, I just want to encourage you to be really good each day after students do a lesson to come in here and mark all of this for your students. It doesn't take very long, but this helps your students really see how they're doing in the class if everything's marked. Sometimes we don't go and mark incomplete on the things that are incomplete. We just leave it as missing. That doesn't really help our students really get the feedback that they need to know whether or not things have been done or not, and whether or not you've looked at it as well. So if we keep going over here, everything's pretty much been graded for this week. If something wasn't graded, there would be a little document looking thing right here, and I just want to show you a few things that you could do to be able to quickly grade. So if you go in here and you see that you need to grade one of these lessons, you would just click on one of the kids and click on the right arrow right here. It'll open up this. You can click on Speed Grader, and it opens up right here. You'll see whatever the student submitted right here on the left hand side, and right here is where you just click complete or incomplete or excused. Mostly it's just going to be complete or incomplete. Be sure to click one of those two, and you can write some comments. But again, if you're going to comment here, make sure you teach your students how to find these comments. Otherwise, it could be that you're making all these comments and they have no idea that you've been making them. You need to submit any comments, and then you just press right and it will go to the next student for this assignment, and you can just grade theirs as well. So again, you want to make sure that you do a few things, that you mark complete right away, incomplete their assignment, so that students know that you're in there and that you're doing those things. Again, a lot of times we might not mark the incomplete, but I want to encourage you to start doing that, because that helps to start give the best feedback to students. Because if you look, students can get it in the gradebook and they can start seeing what percentage things they've completed. This kind of helps them start to see their attendance, because honestly, students don't really go into my seminary very often to look at their attendance and how they're doing, but they could see here in Canvas, where they're going all the time, how they're doing, if you're making sure to mark complete, incomplete all the time, and keeping that up to date for your students. And then once you update this in Canvas, then simply you can just go open another screen to Wise, and you can take attendance according to what you see here. Now, this works for quizzes and assignments. Again, discussion post, you have to go into that lesson and look at that discussion board to be able to see how your students are doing, though that's not counted in gradebook like these other ones are. So I hope that helps. Just one last little structure component. Again, it's really, really helpful for your students and for you if you are closing the availability date of the lessons in a timely manner. That way the students know the time they have to complete something, and you do as well, and you can go grade just the next day that next assignment. One last word of wisdom is really, really helps to keep your students motivated if they see that you're in there as a teacher grading and commenting on things every day right after they do it, just like you're asking them to be there every day. So hope that helps as you try to do things this year. If you ever see that you have gone and put complete on everything but you didn't mark incomplete, there's a quick way to do that. You can just click on these 3 dots at the top of a lesson and you can set default grade. And let's say you already checked everything off that was complete and you just want to mark everything else incomplete. Click on incomplete. You don't want to overwrite what's already entered the grades because that would be bad. And then just hit set default grade. Now don't do this if you haven't graded those that are complete yet, because this will just mark everything as incomplete even if they submit assignment and it hadn't been graded yet. So only do this after you've marked complete, and then you want to just fill in the rest incomplete, and it will do it for you. Awesome. Well, have a great week, and I hope that helps.